I never thought the deepest heartbreak of my life would come on my 70th birthday. That morning, I picked up my phone and called the one person I wanted to spend the evening with, my son. I smiled and asked him a simple question. "Hey son, want to grab dinner tonight? It's my birthday." There was silence. Then he said words that shattered me more than he could imagine. "Sorry, Dad. I can't make it. I'm really busy tonight." I said I understood, but 30 minutes later, I walked into a restaurant alone, and what I saw inside made my blood run cold, because sitting right there was my son, laughing, eating, celebrating with his wife and her mother. And in that exact moment, I decided I was done being treated like I didn't exist. So I did something that stunned the entire restaurant. For 70 years, I had learned one painful truth about life. The people you sacrifice the most for can sometimes hurt you the deepest. My name is Richard. I'm 70 years old, and for most of my life, everything I did was for my family, especially for my only son, Daniel. When Daniel was young, I worked double shifts at a construction company. I missed birthdays, skipped vacations, sold my dream motorcycle, all so he could have the best life possible. I paid for his college, bought his first car, even helped him pay the down payment for the beautiful house he now lived in with his wife Emily. I never asked for much in return. I believed family was everything. So when my 70th birthday arrived, I didn't want gifts. I didn't want a big party. I simply wanted to spend one evening with my son. I called him that afternoon. "Hey Daniel, want to grab dinner tonight?" His voice sounded rushed. "Sorry Dad, I can't tonight. Work is crazy. Maybe next week." Something about his tone felt strange, but I ignored it. I told myself he was busy, so I decided, why stay home feeling lonely? I'd go out by myself. I drove to a nice restaurant downtown, the same restaurant where years ago I had taken Daniel after his college graduation. I remember feeling nostalgic walking inside. But then, everything changed. Near the back corner table, I saw Daniel, my son, sitting comfortably, smiling, eating steak. Across from him sat Emily, and next to her, her mother. They were laughing, celebrating, wine glasses raised high. My chest tightened. I stood frozen. He lied. On my birthday, he told me he was busy, but somehow I had time for dinner with everyone else. The waiter walked by and asked if I needed a table. That's when an idea came into my head. A perfect idea. I quietly smiled and said, "Yes." The waiter seated me near their table, close enough to hear everything, and what I heard hurt even more. Emily's mother laughed loudly. "Well, thank God you didn't invite your father. He always makes things awkward." Emily giggled. Daniel said nothing, not a single word defending me. Years of sacrifice, reduced to silence. I sat there for 10 minutes listening. Then, I called the waiter over. I asked him for something unusual. I smiled and handed him my credit card. "Please bring me the bill for that table over there." The waiter looked confused. I pointed toward Daniel. "Yes, sir." 5 minutes later, the entire table looked shocked. The waiter handed Daniel a receipt. At the bottom, instead of my name, I had written a note. It said, "Happy birthday to me. Thank you for reminding me exactly where I stand in your life. Enjoy dinner, because this is the last thing I'll ever pay for. Love, Dad." I watched Daniel's face turn pale. Emily stopped smiling. Her mother looked horrified. Then Daniel stood up immediately. "Dad, wait." The entire restaurant had gone silent. People were staring. He rushed toward me. I stood up calmly. For the first time in years, I looked him directly in the eyes. "You had time for everyone tonight." I paused, but not for the man who gave you everything. His eyes filled with panic. "Dad, please. It isn't what it looks like." I smiled. "No, son. Tonight I finally saw exactly what it looks like." Then I reached into my pocket and handed him one final envelope. Inside were the legal documents canceling the retirement investment account I had quietly been building for him. Over $300,000. Gone. I looked at him one last time. "You forgot one thing, Daniel. Parents grow old, but memories never do." I turned around and walked out. Behind me, the restaurant was dead silent. And for the first time in years, I felt free. That night, I learned something painful. Sometimes the people you love most take your kindness for weakness, but respect is never something you beg for. Even family must learn that loyalty works both ways. So tell me honestly, if your own child treated you like this, would you forgive them? Or would you walk away forever?